In my last video, we talked about code should be delivered in modules, and Jason Lance made a fantastic comments. Let's quickly go through his thought process and draw it out in paper. So Jason imagines he is responsible for Salesforce work, and he is the one to define the relationship with the external vendors. And then according to the business requirement, the vendors deliver the solution into its own modules. So each module serves a different business requirement. For example, module 1 could be a feature for sales department, and module 2 could be a feature for marketing, and the module 3 could be some general integration requirement. So these modules have clear boundaries one with another. And secondly, he expects all these modules to be delivered are fully developed, tested, and automated against the vanilla orgs, which means these orgs are out of box without any customization. And this is very important because it ensures your solution is self-contained. It does not depend on any other customization, and it can be reused in as many orgs as you want. And thirdly, once these modules are fully prepared by the vendors, then they can ship over down dev environment, dev int environment, UAT environment along the pipeline, and the vendors just deliver the package, the module across all this test environment, and finally go to the production environment. And of course, in the production environment, again, what we see is multiple modules. They are composed one with another, and the new modules are added into the module families. And then let's see how most of us are currently doing in the ecosystem. So we have vendors, and we create a dev environment, which already have the production metadata files copied over. And the vendors, they will go to the dev environment to create the new metadata files. So we will test these features, and then once we are tested over, we'll shift it over to the next environment. We call it UAT or whatever environment. And these red dots are copied over to this environment to do the test. And finally, once it's tested over, we have the production work. This is our final place, which already have multiple metadata files, and these red dots are handpicked and then sent over to the production work. So if we now compare these two diagrams, in Jason's diagrams, because all the solutions are composed in modules and they shift over to production in modules as well. So it's much easier for us to understand what these little module boxes are doing, and each of them actually are serve different purposes. While we look at the traditional ways that we shift these red dots across the environment, and especially once the red dots are moved into the production environment, the red ones become the blue ones. They are part of the blue ones. And there is no way for us to tell which one is which. So that's what we call a happy soup evil. So now it's year 2023. Can we achieve what Jason expects? That Salesforce have all the tools to support us, to enable us to do this modern way of delivering? The answer is yes. Let's demonstrate it. Let's assume I own a Salesforce work and I ask one of my vendors, Jonathan, to supply me a log solution. And this is a solution he gave me named Nebula Logger. And as agreed, is that everything is developed, tested, and automated against the vanilla work. So now it's my first time to check his solution result. We can see the whole solution is packed into this one single repository, which is nice. And also it tells how we can install this module as one command running. And the next step is that I want to spin up a vanilla work. In Salesforce, it's so-called scratch work. So let's create a scratch work. Okay, now let's open this scratch work. And this is a vanilla work actually only for me. So it's dedicated for me, nobody else is using it. And the next step is that we want to install this package. As said, we will run this command against our scratch work. Okay, so installation was succeeded. If we go back to scratch work, we refresh the page, we can see the package is installed. If we open the Nebula Logger solution, it has some metadata information. We know it's from Jonathan. If we check the components, we can see it contains a long list of page layout, landing page, list views, blah, 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 and also a lot of custom fields and Apex files. Of course, the next thing we can do is, because the package is with a long list of unit tests for the Apex, so we can run all these unit tests in this scratch work, just to make sure the test passes. Okay, we see that all the tests actually have passed and it has the code coverage information. So this log solution from Jonathan actually nicely demonstrated that things can be nicely packed into a module and it can be delivered into different environments with running automated commands, and then it can be reused in multiple orgs, which is really, really important. So this modular way of thinking is nothing new in the software industry. All the other technology stack have used it so far, and we, Salesforce ecosystem, should have used it too. It not only helps the solution owners to easily maintain their solution, but also enables us, the software developers, to create software with higher quality and touch the cutting-edge software tools such as Git, Scratch.org, DevOps, all those automation skills. So at last, I really wish the happy soup way would die in 2023. The sooner, the better.